Houdini-like performance, Kwab.
Houdini?
I would say Houdini.
Houdini?
I put it up there with Houdini. I don't think anybody thought the Thunder were going to win this game going to the fourth quarter outside of Oklahoma City.
I mean,
I'm serious.
It wasn't
Were you on Twitter? Did you see Twitter? The whole vibe?
Nah,
they were handing the Pacers the championship.
With the way these playoffs have been going, I don't believe in anything that happens until the buzzer sounds. Honestly, it doesn't matter.
Unbelievable performance. Gutty performance. Let's break it down. Let's go to the box score first. Thunder beat the Pacers 111-104. SGA with 35 points. 0 assists. I'll talk about that in a second.
Just buckets. Straight buckets.
Williams, 27-7. Alex Caruso, the best player to me on the Thunder today, 20 points for the Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton had 18-7, a quiet fourth quarter. Pascal Siakam 28-8. Obi Toppin, huge game, 17-7 off the bench. Kwab, it is very similar to the Nuggets series where going into Game 4, the Thunder needed a victory down in the fourth quarter, stepping it up. Defense steps up. I thought the defense completely took over in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Half of me is like, I don't know how they did this, but other half of me is just like, okay, well, they stepped up the defense a little bit in the fourth. Actually, a lot in the fourth quarter. Lou Dort denying Tyrese Haliburton the ball off the ball, did not let him get into a rhythm. You know, at the end of the game, the Pacers fell into one-on-one basketball, which is something they don't do. It was the first time all series where it was just kind of like, oh, this is not Pacers basketball at all. It was kind of like they were trying their best to get the ball in Tyrese Haliburton's hands, and because Lou Dort was denying the basketball, they didn't know what to do. And usually they know what to do. That's not something the Pacers kind of fall victim to, and they did. They started taking contested twos. And for the whole game, I thought the Pacers shot diet was better than the Thunder's shot diet. The Thunder couldn't hit a three. The Pacers were packing the paint all game when SGA had the ball. Even though SGA, he had a good fourth quarter, got to give him credit because, you know, he and Jay Will basically led this team to victory on the offensive end. I thought Chet had a good fourth quarter too. But for most of the game, I thought SGA was just making terrible decisions. I thought he had a horrible floor game. I was getting ready to rip him. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna come on here and rip him because I thought that he was just. For those of you who don't know, the reason why this podcast is called The Dime is because me, as a basketball player, I'm a pass first point guard.
Very, very pass first point guard. Very.
I wouldn't go that far, but I appreciate point guards who get others involved, who can see the court. SGA did none of that today. It was the opposite of the SGA we saw in Game 2, which was the best version of SGA I think I've seen all year, where he had 30+. He also had 8 assists. He was making the right pass at the right time. I know the Thunder weren't knocking down the three ball. I get that. But the Pacers were packing the paint so much that it felt like the shots that he was taking were just so unnecessary. And the Thunder just, as a whole, just could not get anything going offensively. But the defense stepped up in the fourth quarter, got the Pacers out of rhythm. Just a gutsy win, man. Offensively, too, the big guys getting offensive rebounds. They had, I think, 8 second chance points. I got to check again. The last time I saw, they had 8 second chance points in the fourth quarter alone. You know, with the Oklahoma City Thunder, if they're turning you over and they're scoring, you know, getting buckets off of that, that's how they beat you. And today they did do that. The Pacers did that as well, though. And they need that extra ump, and that was, you know, on the offensive boards. And, you know, SGA, good fourth quarter. I think J-Dub kept them in the game in the first quarter, in the first half. And they somehow just heart of the champion, baby. That's what a champion does. Really, these two teams are unbelievable. This is an unbelievable series, Kwab. What did you make of how OKC came back? How did they do it in your mind?
You made the point with Indiana kind of settling down to like becoming going like one-on-one, because just trying to get the ball into Hallie's hands to just create. There was too much of that to end the game. Like, it just felt like there were too many forced shots, too much one-on-one play, which is not necessarily their game. Yes, Hallie was making a lot of big plays in that fourth quarter, and even the third quarter where he was getting to the rim and finishing. But it just felt like there were two. I can count like 3 or 4 plays I remember where it was just Hallie just kind of trying to create something and then settling for like a long shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like just a tough shot. It just didn't work out in that way. I think with the Thunder, the reason why they won the game, like you said, they turned up the defense, but also there was a point in the game in the fourth quarter where Haliburton had been to the line only twice, and he was 2 for 2. He got and he got fouled. And I remember when I was watching, I'm like, that's bad because you're allowing a player of his caliber just to get in rhythm. And he went up to the line. I think it was a play where Neesmith had his hand on him and
Yeah.
he drew the foul that way. Yeah, and from that point on, I think he scored 15 points to the Pacers 17. I think that's what it was. And he went try to get because what's his name? Our mutual friend Justice is actually texting this in one of our group chats. He was like, the start of the fourth, SGA was 2 for 2 on free throw line, and he finished 10 for 10. And that's you know what I mean, that's one big part of SGA's games getting to the line. Not only does it allow him to rest, like, and after dealing with a game of just constantly being pressured the whole game, but it's an easy way to get some points. And I know, like, it felt like people were already claiming the Pacers already won the chip after.
The vibes were crazy. It was just like this team is so fun. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm feeling the same way. Even as a Knicks fan, they beat our asses, and I'm watching it. I'm watching the game with kids, and I'm like, this is exactly how I would want the Knicks to play.
Yeah,
And
like
then
the moving the ball and all the
I'm
just
not kidding. I was complaining about OKC for 3.5 quarters of this game. I was watching.
no,
I'm like, that's a horrible shot. That's an awful shot. That's a tough two. That went in, but that was a tough two. The only player who I was like, that dude is balling was Alex Caruso.
yeah, I
That
was gonna
man
say
had a
Caruso.
game,
Yeah,
bro.
he had a game. He really
Unreal
had a
game.
game.
He is on. I don't know where this team would be without him. That trade was a godsend.
Yes,
An
and even
absolute godsend.
and to boot, like if anybody goes back and watches that game, there's I think off the top of my head, it was like 3 or 4 moments where Alex Caruso was just where I guess the action is happening. He just cuts back door and he's wide open. He doesn't get the pass, but there's so many times where he just makes that simple cut back door where he's open. So he's able to get second chance points in terms of rebounds, and even when they do see him, it's an easy layup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know SGA had 0 assists, which is like but he had some hockey assists also, which that not really a thing.
Yeah.
And also there were times where players didn't finish, but at the end of the day, it's about getting the W. So I mean, you do enough to get the win in a game where it felt like you were
honestly,
taking
it
an
felt
L.
like they were outplayed for most of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game, and I don't say that to just the Thunder. I say that as a compliment. You know, if you can win a game, an NBA Finals game on the road in a game where it feels like you were outplayed, where you didn't bring your A game, and you tied this series 2-2, you could only be confident going from this point forward as a Thunder fan.
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't think the Pacers gave you their best shot, but I thought the Pacers played really well today up until the fourth quarter. Yeah. And I thought OKC, again, somehow, I guess the free throw line, they lived at the free throw line this game. They couldn't hit a three. But, you know, they did turn them over. They did get points off turnovers. And then offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter as well did the job. And defensively, they stepped it up. And, you know, the Pacers did miss a couple open threes at the start there, too. So, you know, some shooting luck there as well. But, I mean, the whole game, I'm watching it, and I'm like, there's no way they can sustain taking tough twos. The Pacers are moving the basketball, getting open three. After a while, the math is just not going to work. Like, there's just no way you can win this game. And they did, man.
They did.
3 for 17 from three-point range in the modern NBA, and you win an NBA Finals game.
Does not happen.
11 for 36, 30%. The Pacers they were on fire to start the game. They cooled off tremendously. 12 to 7 offensive rebounds for the Thunder. They rebounded them by 10. They had 11 assists, the Thunder. I mean, if you look at some of these stats, it's like, how in the world did this happen?
I mean, was there a byproduct of, like, first of all, the Pacers did a good job, like, pressuring the ball, taking the ball out of SGA's hands throughout the course of the game, but J-Dub was, like, very, very aggressive throughout the course of the game.
J-Dub and Caruso kept them above water the whole
and
game.
it was a lot of straight line drives, attacking the basket. It wasn't like a lot of driving kicks. It was more like I'm
nice.
I'm going to get mine. You know what I mean?
Nice. I'm nice.
And it worked. I'm saying that it worked, and also like you made a point of Chet making a couple of key plays too in the
offensive board,
in the offensive board in the second half, which all these made a difference. I mean, it's impressive for the Thunder to be able to win a game like this, where like they had It just felt like they had no business winning with the way they were
Yeah.
playing throughout the course of the game. So it's impressive to them. I think obviously if you're a Pacers fan and the Pacers themselves are disappointed because they probably felt like they had this in the bag, but I don't think they played your best game overall like throughout the
No,
course
I
of this
don't
game.
either. I don't, but I do think they played significantly better than the Thunder for most of the game. And to be honest with you, that happened. Like the Thunder in Game 1 significantly outplayed the
Yeah,
Pacers most
yeah,
of Game 2.
yeah.
Like this, it happens that way. The Thunder in Game 1 looked like the better team by far for most of the game, and then the Pacers go on a run. So, not to say that the Thunder didn't deserve this victory. You deserve whatever W you get in the NBA Finals. It's just kind of baffling to me, like how they pulled it off. Because, like, what do I point? You can point to SGA getting to the line. I think the big thing to point to was the fact that their defense was making the Indiana offense uncomfortable. Haliburton denying him off the ball, which is something that I think all teams should do when you're facing the Indiana Pacers, because with the ball in his hands, it's tough. And then even when Haliburton was scoring in the drop coverage, tough layups, like you said, these floaters, good adjustment in the last 3 minutes by Mark Daigneault. Instead of drop coverage, Chet was now playing up.
Yep.
The first time they did that, Haliburton started dancing on Chet, airball.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they
yeah.
were going to drop to begin with. They had success with Haliburton. Hallie had some turnovers too.
Yes, he did.
In the first half and second half. I mean, he wasn't taking care of the basketball like he usually does. He had 5 turnovers, and a lot of them, most of them came off them trapping Haliburton in the half court by the half court line, and him next pass cutting it off. So I was surprised they didn't do that more often. I understand you can't do it every time. You want to surprise them here and there. But I was surprised that they went drop coverage in the fourth quarter, because honestly, that was the only thing that really the Pacers got, was when Haliburton got the ball and then, went in the pick and roll situation with Chet. Chet would be in drop. That was the only time the Pacers saw any success in the fourth quarter. Mark cut that off late fourth quarter, started playing up, had Chet play up, and to me, that's when the offense really got shut off. So
Yeah, I was gonna say with
Chet.
Chet did a good job like holding up in terms of defense,
Yeah,
like
he
on
did.
the switches.
Chet had a good second half, and brutal first, but he had a good second half.
Yeah, because a lot of times it was just being able just be when it comes down to it, being tall and putting just contesting when it came with Haliburton and even Nemhard and those
Nembhard at
switches.
the end, yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job with that. Was Ben Mathurin after a crazy game last game.
That was rough. That was a rough minute.
Looked like Ben looked like he had money on the game. So
the spread was 6.5, and they lost by 7. I'm just gonna say that.
Just that's wild. That's
just saying.
And my brain kept saying, man, he hasn't missed a free throw yet. This is crazy. What's happening?
I think we found the reason why Ben Shepherd's on the team. The reason why the undercover cop's on the team.
You said Ben Shepherd is investigating Ben Mathurin?
Yeah. Ben Shepherd. We know why Ben Shepherd, the undercover cop, is now on the team.
God. But to the larger point, I think the Pacers, one thing the Pacers do well, especially when in their victories, is that they get consistent big play from their bench, and they got that from Obi Toppin.
Obi was phenomenal today, man.
Yeah, but not
Knicks
enough. Not enough for me.
There's a whole argument going on Knicks Twitter, by the way. I know a lot of you aren't Knicks fans, but right now I was arguing with Knicks fans about Quentin Grimes like half the game.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Not shocked. That's
because Obi was having a great game. So Knicks Twitter was like, "Oh, who else did Tibbs hold back?" And I was like, "I know exactly who."
We have. There's many episodes you guys can go back and hear Josh lament about Quentin Grimes and his tenure on the Knicks. But yeah, I don't think the Pacers got enough from everybody else. Like TJ McConnell, 8 points, like solid.
Great first half. Where was he in the second half?
Yeah, but same with Matt
either, which I was kind of surprised about.
Yeah, same with Mathurin with the missed free throws and just the undercover cop Ben Shepherd. I think he was okay, but
Neesmith didn't have a good shooting game either.
Yeah, in terms of this, like Pacers, like if you look, because I'm trying to scan I'm scanning the box score right now. Also trying to look back, like you said before, Haliburton didn't necessarily have a good game. Like we can go back and actually if we want to focus on that, to me, he started off solid, made a bunch of good plays here and there, especially in the second half. but it wasn't a good overall game by him. And I always say the Pacers go as Haliburton goes. Like
Yeah.
when he has a wishy-washy game, usually the Pacers like are on edge, and unless they have one of their miracles, like they end up losing. So
Yeah.
in order for them to, if they want to pull this out and win the next game, they need an aggressive Haliburton from start to finish. And not only an aggressive Haliburton, but like solid overall play. Like he can't turn over the ball, has to be more consistent with his shooting, and can't allow himself to be taken out of the game because of the defensive pressure he faces. He just can't.
Yeah.
So also, I'm looking. Yeah, 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. Some of his threes were terrible. Like even the first one he hit was like from far as heck. So,
Yeah.
but they need a better Haliburton game for them to, if they want to pull off the next victory. But great victory by the Thunder. Like this is like they don't lose 2 in a row. They don't lose 2 in a row. It just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
Now we go to Game 5 in Oklahoma City. I got the Thunder, Kwab. I think they win this game. They're just a different team at home than they are on the road. I had the Thunder in 7. So you know what I'm going to say here. Thunder win Game 5. Pacers win Game 6. Thunder win Game 7. That's what it's shaping up to be for me. But again, man, I think you watch these 2 games in Indiana, and I think you can make the legit case that the Pacers look like the better team, even though they split. Then you think about the 2 games in Oklahoma City, and the Thunder were winning the whole. I think they led for like all but 2 minutes in 2 games.
Point 3, like, or
in
whatever.
The first
it
game
was
like 0.3, but in the second game too, it was just same thing. I mean, they completely dominated. So maybe this is a home court series type game. I don't know. I don't know. This is. I got the Thunder winning Game 5 though. I got the Thunder winning Game 5.
I mean, I think a lot of it depends. It's going to depend on coaching. Is Dagnall going to be like gonna try to throw out like these different like are we going to see AJ Mitchell?
Double big didn't work to start the game.
Yeah, he threw out the double big to start this game. Like
Heart's been invisible. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, it looks like he's been seeking different options throughout the course of this, and I mean that's the process. But if you can get a victory out of it, you get a victory out of it. It'll be tough for me to see the Thunder losing at home the next game, but I'm not a gambling man. I'm not gonna bet on it just because I've seen the
spread. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying because I've seen the Pacers do some ridiculous stuff throughout the course of this playoffs. That's why I don't want to call any games. I don't want to be like, oh, this team might have a chance. Because anytime I do it, it's like, hey, Neesmith just went off for 8 straight 3-pointers and and then the Pacers hit another buzzer beater. So yeah, I think the next game will also be a good game. I don't think the Pacers will come out with the wrong approach, because if they do, they're gonna get blown out. So I think it might be another close game next game.
All right, well that's gonna do it. Game 4, the OKC Thunder tie up the series 111-104. If you want to follow Dime, you can everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab AKS. We'll see you for Game 5, baby. Peace.